Today we're going to do an old classic, French classic. We're going to make crepe. I have a granddaughter, her name is Suzette. Since she was 4 years old, she came to my house. She wanted me to make crepe. Well, she sits at the counter, I make crepe, and I have jar of apricot jam, strawberry, raspberry, that's what she likes, or sometimes just sugar, sometimes a little piece of butter melted in it, sometimes grated chocolate, but sometimes she comes with 2 or 3 friends, they all sit and I make crepe. I'll show you how easy to make crepe. This is a non-stick pan. I'll start with butter. I put like 3 tablespoons of butter. By the time that butter is melted, I'm ready to make the crepe. I have 3/4 cup of flour here. Break your eggs on something flat rather than this, because that breaks the yolk and introduces bacteria in it. So this, a dash of sugar, a tiny dash of salt, and a little bit of liquid. Now, I don't want to put too much liquid, and I'll show you why. Because as I mix that in there, and that applies to any batter, if you do a crepe, or if you do a cake, or anything like this, the liquid that they tell you to put in it, just put about half of it, or a third of it, so that you get a batter which has that type of thickness. So batter of that type of thickness, I can work it out with a whisk, as you can see, and I can make it very smooth. And now I can put the rest of the liquid. What I'm saying is that if you put all the liquid the protein in the flour coagulate, and you have nice little lump all over the place, and you have to strain it. Now the crepe batter is usually very, very thin. Sometimes I put even water in it. Okay, it should be about. Okay, let's see that. No, that's too thick. Too thick still, so a little more of this. And I didn't really work very fast here. And as you see, my crepe batter is ready. Many recipes tell you to make it rest. Well, it doesn't look too tired to me, so I'm going to use it right away. See, the butter is barely melted. And now I am going to pour the butter in there. What you can do, you can actually put a piece of butter each time you do a crepe, or put your butter in there, then you don't have to butter your pan each time. So that's it, I put my melted butter in there. That's it, and with my 2 eggs, 3/4 cup of flour, I can probably do 20 crepes. So here is the batter. It could even be slightly thinner. Sometimes I put water in it too. Okay, my batter, as you see, very thin. I pour the butter on one area and spread it out. Okay, now it took. This is a non-stick pan. And that's, of course, the best way to use it so that you don't look like a fool with the thing sticking all over the place. This is about 9-10 inch. I do some small crepes. Sometimes I do some very large crepes. As you can see here, I will show you again. As I say, the first one is often for the dog, but this one doesn't look bad. Okay, so one of the easiest way, on the first side, you lift it up with a fork, grab it here with both hands, turn it around. You will notice, maybe not at the first one, that the crepe is always browner and nicer on one side, the first side. So usually this is how you want to present your crepe. I did some ahead here, and you can see that that side is going to be much browner. So when you do it, you put it upside down so that when you fold your crepe to use it, you have it with the brown side on top. So here it is. Now, when I put the crepe in there, I will put in one corner here and twist it pretty fast. As you can see here, I twist it and shake it to fill up the pan. The fastest I go, the more I spread it, the thinner the crepe is going to be. I think this should be even slightly thinner. Okay. So now you brown it on one side. And if it's thinner, you see that crepe, you can see it close. If I put a little more even in there, when it's more liquid, we do what we call a crepe dentelle. A dentelle is a lace. And you'll see with a thinner batter, the outside will be full of tiny holes like a lace. So here I fold the first time. So you can see that first time is always brown better on this side. So when I did, I will flip that, put it there so that when I present the crepe, it's presented on this side. And of course, you can do the crepe ahead. And I do. So again, you see this is thinner. And I like more of a crepe dentelle. As you can see here, like a lace, I've said, look at the tiny hole all over the place right there. Because my batter is thinner. And I want to have that type of thing. So as you can see, 2 eggs, 3/4 of a cup of milk, I would do probably close to 20 crepes. That's it. So you flip it on this side. You can freeze the crepe, but it will take you longer to defrost it than starting as I did. I barely melted butter and it was over. Okay. I'll do another one again. So you put it on one side, not in the center. You will put it in the center, then move, it goes all over the place. Now you put it on one side and spread it out. On this side here, and I spread it out this way and shake it. And don't worry, for example, if you have a little hole there, let's put a little more batter in there. That's how you make crepe. Again, this one. When I was a kid, crepe was a staple at my house. Okay, for the crepe, we're going to do a crepe Suzette, which is a very classic dessert crepe. And then we're going to do a savory crepe, which often is the case. You use the crepe to fill up with, like you have a leftover fish, you take it off the bone, a bit of sauce, you fill it up, chicken, anything you have done, you can use it and do crepe. So, that will flip, especially on the second side now. On the first side, usually you turn it with a fork. And again, fold it this way. But as you can see, that crepe is pretty thin. Pretty thin, and those crepes are pretty, I look in the center, see they stay right soft, and they are pretty, they are pretty elastic. See, that type of crepe is pretty soft and elastic. Okay, so now let's do a crepe. We fill up, this is leftover chicken that the neighbor brought me. Oh. Chicken pot pie, that's really classic. And you can have there. I have a butter gratin dish here. I use that, as I say, very often when I have fish, because often I cook a whole fish, and there is enough, always enough of the bone that I can do. And of course, sometimes I do a souffle, beating egg white too, and I fill up the crepe souffle, and you put it into the oven. They're very impressive. That really impressed the neighbors. Okay, 3, or maybe a 4th one. Okay. That's it. Here. Now, I could have a sauce like a bechamel on top of it, one of those things, or only I'll put a little bit of cream onto that. I didn't make a sauce. And some Parmesan cheese. And we'll brown that into the oven. That's it. Nice first course, or main course. So the classic dessert crepe is the crepe Suzette. It was done actually by Karen. We go back to the middle of the 19th century. And for the region of England, is the mistress of the region of England, whose name was Suzette. And so those crepes were developed at that time here. And the conventional way, in restaurants, still when I was a kid, that's the way it was done. You give the crepe to the maître d', and they go with the lump sugar here, and they take the orange, and they impregnate the side of the sugar with, in front of the customer, you do that. And you can see that those lumps of sugar are full of the essential oil, which is really what you have there. Then we put that in the skillet with a piece of butter, 5-6 cubes like this. Piece of butter, it melts, they crush it, they caramelize it a little bit, and they take those crepes, dip it in that mixture, then put Grand Marnier, usually, which is an orange liquor, an orange brandy, rather, and some cognac, and finish the crepe there at the side table. Usually, to make it a little better, but that's very good, we do the Suzette butter, and you send it directly to the dining room, so the maître d' can put the Suzette butter all melt, dip the crepe in it, and finish it up, and that's what I want to show you how to do. And for that, I have 1 stick of butter here, which is really a bit soft, but that's all right, a little soft. Then about a 1/4 cup of sugar. All right. And then we put orange rind, because remember, in this is where you have the essential oil, in the surface of this, not in the juice. The juice is citric acid. Yeah. So this happened to be orange, that happened to be tangerine, or mandarin rather. And you can see, I can put that on top of it here. Get a lot of that type of taste. I can smell it now. You can see that those are marvelous. So that will go in there, or even a little bit of the orange one. The orange one, I think, maybe have less flavor. If that should be plenty tasty. Yeah? Okay, juice. That beautiful orange. So I have about 1/4 cup. And here, that's when you need really a food processor, because remember, butter doesn't get incorporated with liquid. But there, with the speed of the machine, it will get incorporated. So I have about 1/3 cup of orange juice. Okay. Now that goes in the insert of a bigger machine. Good. That in there. Let's see that here. Yes, I have a beautiful mixture here. Actually, you know, this is almost like an orange buttercream. You could do a cake and use that as an orange buttercream. If I were to do that, however, I'll probably use powdered sugar rather than that type of sugar. So here, as you can see, that becomes much easier to do that for the dining room or for the maître d' or whatever, because all you put is to melt some of this into your skillet. It's absolutely delicious. And then flambe it with Grand Marnier and Cognac or Armagnac, which is more or less the same thing. Okay, so you would make that a delicious butter there. I will put it on that side here, inside, bring it back up and put it down and fold it. So now it's done on both sides, and fold it again. Put 4, but I know that I have some of that crepe mixture all over the place. So in here. Now, I have 3 crepes here. Actually, I have enough butter to do maybe 4. So that would be easy for 2 people. Huh? 2 of that per person is plenty. You can cook it for maybe 20-30 seconds, as you can see. It will caramelize on each side here. Beautiful. And then we're going to have Cognac and Grand Marnier. Okay, put a bit of Cognac in there. And you flambe it, you want the alcohol to evaporate, and then you're ready to serve it. So here, one of those now which has been soaked in the liquor. And I think that Suzette will be very happy. I don't do the same recipe for my granddaughter, but that's good. Okay, here we are. Beautiful savory crepe done with the mushroom, chicken pot pie type of thing, and the classic crepe Suzette to make your wife or your friend happy. I'm glad to do that for you. Thank you for watching.